I will keep my introduction brief since we'll be able to have a Q&A session after the screening, which I hope will stay. But just to tell you a little bit about where I got the idea to do the film, I happen to have a daughter who is 6 years old right now, exactly the age of the children that you'll see in the film. And I haven't been able to spend a whole lot of time with my daughter, and it got me to thinking, well, what is it that connects me to my daughter and her to me? Is it blood, or is it the time that we spend together? And those concerns that I sort of thought about were really the start of this film. The story is quite dramatic in describing the plot of switched babies, but really what I was hoping to explore in this film is quite simply, what is a family, what makes the relationship between a parent and a child happen, and those are the ideas that I hope to kind of explore in the film. Hopefully we'll enjoy the film all the way through the end, and I'll see you at the screen.
I'm here with Tomoko, and we just saw the movie Like Father, Like Son from Japan. I wanted a Japanese perspective, so what did you think of the movie?
It was very good, and about the family, and more like spend together, that you think about more, family thing, yes.
Did you think it was pretty accurate representation? Is that a lot of that real from Japan? Is that the way it is?
Yes, I think so. Especially that main character family. Yes, they are like more the city life, and where they are busy. Father is always busy for work.
Spoiler alert, I did have a question. And there was one scene where they show a drawing made by the blood son. He's just meeting his new family that he's been separated from at birth, and we couldn't read, the Japanese writing under the drawing. Did it have anything significant under there? It said it made the mother cry.
Oh,
picture.
that was because of he drew about the father and mother, and that was the other father and mother. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah.
How could you tell?
Because of that picture that's showing that, especially about father he used to grow up with, it looked like him. So that's why,
I
yes.
completely missed that. Thanks so much for talking with me.
You are welcome. Thank you so much.
So I'll start off with one or two questions of my own, and then we can open up to the audience for some questions. So if you guys could think of some things, we'll have a brief discussion. One thing about this film that I think is so powerful is that it's rooted in such naturalism and a naturalistic style. I'm wondering of the director if these two characters, or the characters of the two families, are based on people that you knew in real life, actual people from your own history, or such.
First of all, thank you to all of you for staying all the way to the end. I don't have any particular real-life model for these particular characters, but in terms of the lifestyles that they lead, I would say that the protagonist's lifestyle is very similar to what I lead now, which is a very kind of normal life in an apartment, a nuclear family. My daughter is taking piano lessons right now, and I would say that that kind of forms the basis for the protagonist, the architect's family, the lifestyle that they lead. Whereas in my childhood, I was much more in a kind of a down-to-earth sort of atmosphere, where I had a, I had a grandmother. We had an altar in the household, and so the wife's family, when you see them go back to that place, I think that is similar to what I experienced growing up, as well as the appliance store. I think that kind of more down-to-earth sort of feel is more modeled after my childhood as opposed to my lifestyle now.
It's very interesting, the idea of the two sort of parenting styles as one that, so I guess it sort of sounds like one is the style that you have with your child now, and the other was more of the style film a film about nostalgia? Are you sort of wishing for the other simpler style? Maybe simpler isn't the right word. Or do you see one style of parenting as better than the other?
前に登場させようという思ったのが最初のアイデアでした。
I certainly didn't intend to have any kind of judgment towards either style of raising a child. But I would say that I did want to show some type of a contrast in the two fathers and the way they raise their kids. I would say that the protagonist, the architect, I saw him more as a pitcher in baseball, who is the one who kind of chooses what pitch to throw. He's always kind of in control and knows what he wants. Whereas the appliance store owner, the other father, he's more of a catcher. He's the one that receives what is thrown to him. And I did want to sort of set up that dichotomy and have our protagonist sort of have to confront these two different styles.
So we have time for a few more questions. Does anyone in the audience have a question? Yes, sir. I'm sorry, ma'am.
It's okay. How will this film be received in Japan? A Japanese audience. Who is your audience for this in Japan?
The question is, how has the film been received in Japan, and how has the audience in Japan been reacting to the film?
公開を今ちょうどしているところです。
I actually never make films with a particular target audience in mind, but I do always think of one particular individual that I'm making this film for. And in this film, I was thinking about my daughter. She hasn't seen the film yet, but that was the person I thought about while I was making the film. In terms of the people that actually did come out to see the film, first of all, there are many fans of the lead actor, Fukuyama Masaharu. So you have a lot of ladies in their 20s and 30s who came out. And you also had a lot of people who heard about the award at Cannes Film Festival and were coming out to see it because of all the hype. And we have a lot of ladies in their 50s and 60s who apparently are coming out to see it multiple times. Of all the films that I've made, this film by far is the one that has had the most audience turnout for it. So it's been a very, very fortunate turn of events.